Hello there. Awake in the night, and I wonder, where are the little green men at? What do I mean by that? Well, um, during the elections in the Ukrainian area known as Crimea, they were the military um, soldiers that were overseeing the election. Um, they weren't wearing Russian insignia and or Ukrainian, obviously, and they were dubbed as the Little Green Men. Uh, Given the fact that the election was actually a total fraud, and that you know the Ukrainians didn't have a choice that lived there. It was either join Russia or try to become your own state. And of course, with the type of economy that was in Crimea at the time, that meant that it would be a failure. So the Little Green Men have not made any news of late that I've heard of. And do I think that they're actively doing something in some part of the world? Last I'd heard, they were hiding uh, supposed, mass graves of Ukrainians in places around Africa. I have no idea how true that is, but I most certainly did see that somewhere on the internet. It sounded like it could be plausible, I suppose. Um, But yeah, those guys as mercenaries and the equivalent of Blackwater, it's very dubious to suspect that they're doing absolutely nothing. Russia doesn't recognize them as having anything to do with them. Theoretically, it's against the law over there for such an organization to exist, but it does, and the Russians are simply lying about it. I mean, whoever heard of a Slav who didn't lie? Anyway, yeah, those are hardcore, serious guys. I mean, I remember watching an episode of Deadliest Warrior, and it was Spetsnaz versus, coincidentally, the Green Berets, and the Spetsnaz were deemed as though they would win in that hypothetical contest. And who knows, maybe even in the Cold War they did have a little skirmish, and they just didn't tell anybody. Um, I believe that's possible because there will be, I won't say necessarily Blackwater, but there will be mercenaries looking for the Little Green Men. Um, it's almost impossible to completely disappear on this planet, except in a bad way. But I mean, actually, live in a sort of normal existence. People go, oh, well, they can hide in the mountains or the caves or things like that. But I mean, if they have a general idea where you are, let's say the United States does, you're still in that, kind of, you know, predicament where it's, they can find you, whether they can get to you or not, because you may be under the protection of another country, um, is another story altogether. Because it does, there are many questions like, how many of these mercenaries are there? Um, they're competent and patient from what I've seen, because that was a massive propaganda boost that they backed the Ukrainian succeed, leaving the Crimean peninsula to the Russians, and that made a huge impact on Russian interest in the Black Sea region. So, I try to keep up to date with it. I look every now and then and do my 5 minutes worth of studying. If there's any information that's new, However, I really believe that it should not be swept under the rug and forgotten about. That this organization out there exists, and it's not stupid, and it will, if it, sees Western countries with its pants down, or, anything like that, it's gonna notice. Um, so yeah, sometimes when I'm awake at night, I do wonder about these things. Um, anyway, talk to you guys later. Have a good one.